So, how do you figure out how to explain who you are to people when they're thinking of hiring you, when you're writing your LinkedIn profile, when you're writing your resume, your cover letter, when you're meeting for your performance review or going for a promotion? So, what I came up with a few years ago is what I call the three go-to words. So in case you ever see this on any of my materials, that's how I write it, shorthand, three go-to. So let me tell you what that's about. Let me tell you first actually how it came to be. So I had a very dear friend who about 10 years ago during the economic recession in the 2008 to 2013 or whatever it was. This was someone who had really never had to put a resume together for a long time. She was someone who was always hired away by her next employer. And suddenly she lost her job after 8 years very unexpectedly. And she had to start what turned into a massive job search for quite a period of time. And she was all excited because she had gotten a great offer. They had approached her to come for an interview she works in hotel sales, a property in a city she was familiar with and would be willing to relocate to, and was just very, very excited about the whole opportunity. So we talked a lot about it before she went into the interview, as we had been talking through her whole job search. And she called me when she got out of the interview, and she was in tears. And this is not someone who gets upset easily. And she just kept saying to me, I just kept rambling. I couldn't focus. I know what I can do. I know I'm perfect for the job. All I did was ramble. And by the time I walked out, I wasn't sure I told them anything. And I have talked to so many people who have said they have done the same thing when they are in an interview, whether it be a phone interview or whether it be an in-person interview, where they start talking in circles and rambling about what they can do and what they can bring to the organization. So that's actually how the three go-to words came to be. Because I said to her, well, let's focus on three things that we know are so much about who you are and what you can do. Let's just come up with 3 bullet points, 3 speaking points, whatever you want to call them. Let's come up with 3 and take it from there. So we identified her 3, and what we did is we took a step back and we looked at her resume, and as she went for more interviews, she began to focus a lot of her information, so they all came back to those 3 points. And that's what the 3 go-to words are about. So what I want you to do is think about what are 3 words or 3 short phrases that really tell people who you are and what you do and what you can bring to the table. And these are going to become the core of what you talk about, whether again it be through your resume, LinkedIn, in person, etc. Think of yourself as, what are you the go-to person for? That organizations, or maybe it's even your family or friends, say, oh, we've got to get so-and-so. We've got to go get them because they'll know what to do here, or they know how to do that. So you are the go-to person for that. Now here's the thing though, I'm going to push you to not do the obvious. What happens with a lot of people is that they pick the most obvious thing for the type of job they have. But what we're trying to do here is show why you're different and about things than anyone else. So, for example, a lot of you know I worked for a long time and still do a lot of work in the meetings and hospitality industry. So when I talk to meeting planners, I tell them their words cannot be organized, detail-oriented. There's a couple others I will not let them use, because the reality is if you're a meeting planner, it's assumed you are those things. So it's for looking for the things that make you that stand out with all the other skill sets you have. This is not an easy task, I will tell you that. And I have done the exercise on myself, and it's amazing how hard it is to come up with 3 things that you really think are the core of who you are, but that at the same time make you different from people who do what you do. So give it some thought. Again, take out the most obvious ones for your profession or your field and look for the things that make you different. Come up with your 3 go-to words. And in future conversations over tea with me, we'll be talking about some ways to help you drill down to them.